Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm DJ McCree of Track Camp ENT, and today we are going to be talking about the Scheps 73 by Waves. For the most part, I'm not a huge Wave fan. I haven't been a Waves fan ever since there was other plugins in the market that took up their marketplace and started doing things better than them. However, over the years, a company has to grow, and then they end up learning from their mistakes, and that's where I believe Waves did. When it comes to this particular series, at least. And yes, this is something really serious. And so let's actually talk about the quick history about this. Andrew Scheps is a engineer, which is probably one of the best engineers in the biz. And this is a model of his favorite EQ, which is the 1073, and the 1073 is the Neve, obviously, and the Neve being such a European style, British style, I believe, EQ, and and it having very aggressive tendencies as well as very smooth tendencies, and just being if just running it off of these type of EQs in general gives your track a certain flavor, a characteristic. So I have a track in the back, and I'm gonna get more into this. And this by far is one of my favorite EQs in general. Well, I'm talking about the Neve. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull up the mixer. And we're gonna go ahead and play the track, and I'm gonna play it with this, play without it, and then I'm gonna plug it in. So once you see that green light, that means that it is active. And I'm going to switch screen cam because I almost forgot. So it's coming in loud. Did the little mix on that 3, 2, 1. Let go. So, this particular track in general, well, not the track, but this particular EQ kind of gives it the track a specific characteristic, and give or take that the Neve 1073 is meant for, like, rock and roll and stuff like that. It kind of smooths out some of the transients and whatever, and gives it a certain kind of air that your track wouldn't have without running through the Neve. And right now I'm running through the master bus, and there's certain things that this does a little further than that. As I pop this, I don't know why it does that, but yeah. So with a quick press of the buttons or whatever, you get an instant kind of feel that that where you can actually further mix with it through linear phase. And that's what those phases, but our buttons are there for. Which linear phase is much more musical, but at the same time, when you're running through phase in general, just to give people a hot little tip, you do have to either boost or attenuate certain frequencies in order to kind of restore the balance. Also, with even though the linear phase sounds very well in a digital standpoint, on the radio, linear phases in general. This is not just true for this particular EQ, but in general in music rule or theory, that linear phase is a little bit thinner, but so much more smoother than your average. So other things that this it does, you can link these two together. You can move these like that, which is awesome. And then you can mix in mono as well, mixing left to right. So that's really, really, really helpful. And then you also and you haven't really seen many EQs do this. And T-Rex, they actually do that in most of their EQs. if not all of them. But you can actually do MS, which is mid to side, mono, stereo, some in general. I have other videos on that where I talk about that in detail. So that is awesome. It really is. But once again, the real selling point of this in general to me is the fact that what Andrew Scheps probably uses this for is to get a certain kind of feel out of a whole entire mix. And when I say that, I'm kind of directly talking about the preamp section and the preamp drive section, and that's where the Neve shines at. The Neve 10 at 73 shines at. So give or take, I can show you in a more broader sense if I actually go to the sample. So the sample, it sounds like this. It's a smooth guitar riff. So don't mind what you just heard. What you need to actually pay attention to, and let me go ahead and talk like this because I don't know how loud it is. But what you really need to pay attention to is these particular settings right here. So basically, I boosted the dog Schmidt out of the highs. I did nothing to the mid section, which is crazy if I did. And crazy in a good way, I mean. And I gun-hoed the lows. I just attenuated them to just the basic form right there. And I messed with the cutoff. And the frequency cutoff is at like 60. Did I mess with the high pass at all? I didn't mess with the high pass at all. It's not even activated, so nothing worried. But the real sex is really right here in the drive. And if you notice within the audio example, and that's, I don't know why that is. That's 1 point off of that. As far as the GUI has a little weird bugginess to it, and I mean it's low latency. It's a low latency plugin. It doesn't take up a lot of CPU, but yeah, I don't get that. But the drive section, like I said, is is particularly awesome in this plugin. So I don't have it on right now. And when I hit that green button, hit this button over here and it turns green, it will be on. So as you can see, how much livened, how much realistic, how much that feels, how the difference is between just by changing that. And I'm going to actually just go and mess with it, fiddle with it some more, so that you can actually hear some of the differences within this EQ. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do that. So, as you can see, it does what it does when it comes to its particular aspects. Make it a little dull. Take away the highs a little bit, just dial down the highs. Work with the drive a little bit. So, with that being said, you can very well, play a guitar, and then just set this Neve 1073 plug-in and work with that, and it will give your guitar probably an edge that, you was not able to achieve on your own. So that's basically about it. If I was to talk about this any further, it's 4 out of 5. It's not really a 5 out of 5, only because of the GUI is kind of buggy. But it's on sale right now for $70. I think it runs for like $250 or whatever they call it because of the Black Friday sale. They're doing it for that amount. And this is a very handy dandy thing, and it's gonna be in a lot of my mixes, so many of my mixes or whatever. I don't know why I don't know why this track is actually acting buggy, other than the fact that Windows might be updating in the back. But on more topic or whatever, yeah, this is awesome. I mean, this was well worth the $70. And once again, it's gonna get used a lot. I mean, and this is one of my favorite EQs, and I think I might do a little bit more studying on Andrew Scheps, because I find his engineering and his mixes to be very intriguing and very like mine, where it has a lot of subtle distortion, but musical distortion, if there is such a thing. But yeah, if you have any questions, ask me any questions. If you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments or whatever, just leave it. Hey, just say, what up, Av? But yeah, and if you find this video helpful, please, subscribe, like begging, and check out my playlist, because I have other stuff that is cool as well, especially as far as reviews and mixing. So I'm DJ McCree, and appreciate y'all, and y'all have a good evening.